On, guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. And guys, I'm with the boys as always, Xavier and Nicholas. Big
Mm.
preview show, guys. Alex Pereira fight week, maybe his biggest challenge yet. UFC 313, Pereira versus Ankalaev for the light heavyweight championship in the main event. I feel like people have been waiting for this fight for a really long time. Not a lot of people wanted the Yuri rematch or the Khalil Roundtree fight, really, but we're here. Ankalaev versus Pereira. Talk to me about it, guys. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Well, first and foremost, it's been a long time coming. Um, while I'm not gonna say I hate it, the Yuri fight, um, or the Khalil Roundtree fight, it was an interesting shakeup. You know what I mean? Like unexpected. I thought that Khalil Roundtree proved that, he was kind of the upper tier. Proved a lot in that loss. Put on a good fight, but I mean, I think that we've all known that like the real rightful champion. I've said it a million times, the rightful champion of the division, Ankalaev. I thought that he thoroughly, like, and convincingly enough to me, beat Jan in the title fight that got ruled a draw for no reason at all. And had that never happened, we would have seen Pereira versus Ankalaev a long time ago. But there's neither here nor there. Both guys have been handling business, so here we go, man. Here we go. We're gonna finally, I mean, if Ankalaev will wrestle, you know what I mean? We're gonna finally see, what Alex is really made of. And if he can pass his test, like no one else is gonna beat him in this division. It's seeming like.
Yeah. Sorry, real quick, Clark. Xavier just said something that it just made me like just kind of blew my mind. That Jan fight happened so long ago, it feels like, and Uncle Live hasn't really sniffed the belt since, really, like the fights he's gotten. And Alex Pereira has been like he's taken over the division and low-key the sport. And now we're here. They're finally fighting. Like that didn't click for me. That's just a cool ass story too.
Yeah, not for sure. I think it's one of these fights where I think a lot of strat's going to come into play for Ankalaev. I think he needs to be shooting for takedowns in this one in order to win. I think on the feet, Peja is just too crisp for him. I think he'll find the left hook eventually in the fight. Um, but yeah, it's heavily interesting to see if Ankalaev will wrestle early. Will he stay on the feet? Make this kind of a slug match, but I don't think that goes well for him. He'll find out just like the rest of them. So, it's one of those that I feel like Pereira has improved in the takedown defense over time in the UFC. And I'll be honest, I don't think Ankalaev is much of a wrestler. I think he's okay at it. But is he better than like Blahovic at wrestling? I'm not sure.
Yes.
I'm not sure, honestly, from what I've seen. So I'll be honest. I think Peja might just walk through this, man. I think easy. I just feel his distance management's too good for Ankalaev. I think he'll be the lengthier fighter, and I think he picks him apart on the feet. And Ankalaev's been very susceptible to leg kicks. Like he's taken a lot of them and he's not reacted well. He did decent against Rakic for the leg kicker that he is, but I just feel like if Jan Blachowicz almost beats you in a title fight just from taking out the legs early, and by the way, I think Ankalaev's too proud. I think he's just gonna stand with him low key. I can just already see it. Like I think he will shoot, but
He better fucking shoot, I swear to
Better
you.
fucking wrestle.
If he doesn't try to fucking wrestle, man, I swear that like Pereira has these guys hypnotized, bro, because it makes no fucking sense, bro. It makes no sense.
Drop the ego. No one cares. No one cares if you stand and bang with him.
We
just
want to see the best man
Like,
win.
dude, we get it. You're a badass, dude. You're fighting for a UFC title. We don't care how you win it. You're a badass. We get it, dude.
Change your family's life, make the right decision, please. Like I implore you, please, Russell, and like give yourself the best chance. He still might lose. He still might lose. Like he still might get chinned, but like I know that like I would feel a lot better if he tries to wrestle and then still loses, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
doing everything that you can to win the fight.
I, I hate to be this guy, but it's literally like, oh, if he doesn't wrestle, I'm picking Pereira. If he wrestles, I'm picking Ankalaev. I'm gonna pick Ankalaev because I do assume he's gonna wrestle. I don't know if you guys saw the clip, but like Pereira and Teixeira were wrestling around in the snow, and like Pereira was kind of taunting Ankalaev. Ankalaev said, "Be ready for 25 minutes of that." Now, I don't think he's just going to wrestle fuck him, but I think he is going to mix it in. I hope he realizes that he has to against Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill, Yuri Prohaska, Khalil Roundtree. None of those guys really wrestled him besides Yuri in the first fight. We all saw what happened. I do think Ankalaev is a really good striker. I think he hits a lot harder than all three of those guys, but I still think Pereira definitely has the edge there. But the distance between Ankalaev and Pereira striking is nowhere near the grappling distance between the two, in my opinion. So for those reasons, I'm gonna pick Ankalaev, assuming he fights intelligently.
Wait. So what master class has Uncle Ive showed in on the feet in any of his fights? Except like having power. Because he's got power, I'll give him that, but
I mean, he doesn't have any master classes, but that's that he hits. He has TK. He has power for sure, and he is good boxing. He's not like a just a one and done type of striker. He's a good striker.
I'm just saying he's going up against one of the best kickboxers ever. Like ever.
I
I
will
mean,
say this, like earlier in the pod, you said that like you asked, is he a better wrestler than Jan? And I want to like remind you that like in a fight that where he was like his legs were heavily compromised, he seemingly got a takedown every time he really went for one. So clearly, like that's something that he has in his back pocket. Like, even if his legs are chewed up, like he could just choose to implement that more often. He just doesn't because he believes in his striking, and for good reason. But like. And I think that he just believes that he's better on the feet than most of these guys, which so far that has proven to be for the most part true. But like in this fight, we know damn well he's not the better striker. So we need to well, we don't know, but like we pretty much know. So but we know damn well he is the better grappler. We know that it's a clear advantage, point of advantage. So like he'd be foolish to not take advantage of it.
I agree. I just don't think he's gonna do that. I
I
really
will. I would be super mad at him if he loses like and doesn't do it.
it would
Now if he
just taint the fight,
like that just
honestly.
he'll still be good. Like we saw Khalil Roundtree put in a good first 2 rounds versus Pereira, so the
It
fight's still gonna be good. I'm just saying he's
yeah,
not.
exactly. It's not that he's outclassed at all like on the feet. It's just that like I just want to see guys give their best effort, you know? They give themselves the best chance to win. And if that's not in the game plan, then like you need a new team or something, bro. You need a new team.
yeah,
I agree, but I feel like you're underestimating Pereira's takedown defense a little. I
but
think
we
you
really haven't seen it besides the Jan fight.
have shot on him, Ed. Like every
Who?
fight, everyone has shot on him in his title fights.
Those are always like I'm beat the fuck up. I'm like on my last legs, wobbly ass like
Roundtree Hill or did Roundtree Hill or Yuri in the second
Roundtree.
one
Probably not Roundtree.
or Hill
Well, I guess Hill, but like Yuri shot on him the whole time, man.
in the
So
first fight, not the second one.
second one he definitely did.
Maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know.
I'm just saying it's a lot better than y'all are giving him credit for.
I mean, if he doesn't get the takedown, then boom, like it's fine. But I'm saying he has to go for it. He has to try.
He's gonna open up shit.
He has to try to mix it up at least. Like
Oh, you will, but
I'm not
like
talking about like fainting a shot. Like no, like go for it a little bit. Like try.
no, you will. I think it'll just be over like 2 minutes into the round.
Like Ed, I think that like if he gets taken down like early and often, like I could see him getting grinded out here. And then like maybe his striking doesn't look as crispy after like, all that heavy grappling for like 3 rounds. But we've never seen it. So like I'm gonna tentatively pick the upset and go with Ankalaev here. even though I do think that like if it stays on the feet, Pereira's gonna knock him out probably.
Well, I'm going with the bad man on the other side, the champion.
All right. 2-1.
I think honestly, I could see him KOing him round number one.
You're crazy, Clark. You're crazy, man. You're a crazy, man.
He is the hardest puncher in the UFC.
I think also you kind of mentioned it, Clark. The Roundtree fight low-key gave me more confidence in this Ankalaev fight. I don't. Maybe I'm a hater. I don't rate Roundtree that high. I just don't.
I think it's great Pereira faced some adversity and still beat the crap out of him at the end of the day and got the finish.
I think Roundtree is like really underrated, but like
Ankalaev runs through Roundtree. I'm just gonna
yeah,
say
I think
runs through him.
he went through him. Yeah,
I don't know about run through him. I think he beat him.
I mean not runs through him, but I think that like it. Yeah, I could see it being easier than the Pereira fight was for like than the fight was for Pereira. I could see him not putting Uncle Life in any real danger like he had Pereira clipped.
Regardless, though, I think this is going to be like a really competitive fight. Like I'm not. I do not think Ankalaev is going to run Pereira over at all. Pereira's going to win rounds, have really good moments. I just don't think he's faced a guy like Ankalaev, and I'm hoping the grappling plays a key part here. I I'm gonna say Ankalaev by decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Uncle Life by fourth round sub.
Ooh, the sub.
Hey,
But
second round TKO.
alrighty. What do you guys think is Well, if Ankalaev wins, they'll definitely run this back. I like this rivalry. Like even if Alex wins and it's a close fight, why not run it back? There's no one really at the top of the light heavyweight division. What do you guys think is going to happen after this fight? Because this is a big deal for the division.
I mean, like you said, like it depends. It depends on who wins, right?
Yeah, it depends how they win, I'd say as well.
Yeah, if someone gets starched like very quickly, they might like give that person some time off and like have another fight in between.
Yeah, like if Ankalaev wins and Pereira wants some time off, Erie is 100% like getting a title shot.
Facts.
But I don't know about you guys, but this is going to be awesome. I'm very excited for this fight.
I'm like 10 out of 10 excited for this
10 out
one.
of 10. This is 10 out of
I've been
10.
waiting for this fight for so fuck. I've been waiting for years, like you said, Ed, for years.
Hell yeah. Alrighty though, let's move on, guys. The co-main event: Hooker out, Viziev in. Rematch part two here. Justin Gaethje. This is going to be a 3-round fight. We did preview this a little in our last video, but we're going to make our official predictions today. Um, I feel like people are coming around to the fight. They were kind of hating on it at first, but like this is going to be a sick fight. How are your guys' thoughts on the fight now that we're here during fight week?
I I love the fight. I thought the first one was very competitive, and it was just pure offense, no defense, just constant boxing, a lot of kicks from Fiziev. And I think Fiziev's gonna have to use a lot of kicks to win this fight. Gaethje's pretty crafty. As a vet, he's seen it all. Good hands for sure. But I think the from the first time around, Fiziev's gonna know not to go like he kind of gassed out. So I think if he just like goes at a good tempo the whole fight, I think he should be able to beat Gaethje because he's gonna be the quicker fighter in my mind. And I love the fight also because Hooker was losing to either of these guys. Like he was not beating either one. So
I don't hate that take.
it's unfortunate his hand broke. I don't, wish injuries upon fighters, but he was losing to Gaethje. Let me just say. I have bigger questions for Gaethje. He's getting up there in age, probably towards the end of his career at this point, I would say. Um, what is he gonna look like? This is the first fight since 300, I believe.
Mhm.
Correct? Yeah. Um, and that was a bad knockout where He didn't look good in the fight. He was facing Max though, who's very talented. But I think Vazeev, from what he saw in that fight, can use a lot of those spinning body kicks, just kicks to the body and wear Gaethje down. As long as he just paces himself, I think he wins. He did suffer a bad injury, but I don't know. I don't think that'll affect him that much. He's had a long time off. I think he's good to go.
Yeah, for me, I'm thinking like even though he took a lot of time off, which like may nullify this a little bit, like that was one of those like bad beatings where like even before the knockout, like he had taken a lot of punishment. Max was kind of like beating his ass for a lot of that fight. And I just kind of think about like how Max did that to Calvin Kattar when he just beat the shit out of him and Kattar kind of wasn't the same anymore. Especially like that fight coupled with like the fact of like his age getting up there. And I have to wonder like what kind of Gaethje we're gonna see. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be like pretty close to the Gaethje of old, but that Gaethje of old barely squeaked out a decision against the like a older against Fiziev in their first fight. He was much younger then, so I'm like older Gaethje. I know Fiziev coming off the knee injury, but like still, I would expect him to come back from that. Then Gaethje come back from a devastating KO like that at this point in his career. I think that's striking skill for skill. I would favor Fiziev when they're fresh, and like I said, like you said, Clark, I think he's gonna know from their first fight. He just has to manage his pace a little bit better. Um, it was like a cardio win. I watched the fight back like last week, and it was like his cardio kind of. He also just got busted up in the eye and that kind of changed the fight a little bit in terms of like the optics to the judges. I think that he was without the damage factor. I think that he like did enough to probably win that fight, or it could have been a coin flip. But I think that when you factor in the damage that like was swelling up on his face in round two on, it's you kind of had to give him the fight a little bit. But if he doesn't get damaged, I can see him like squeaking out a close decision, 29-28 type shit.
Yeah, speaking of the damage, a lot of people forget about this. One of the judges scored the third round a 10-8 for Justin Gaethje, which is, I mean, I don't remember any 10-8 rounds. Yeah, he scored the third round a 10-8 for Justin Gaethje. I believe it's just because of the visuals, the damage. So, that was BS, but let's talk about this fight. Yeah, I think Fiziev has had plenty of time to recover from this injury. People don't realize he's the younger fighter by like 4 years. Also, he's taking a lot less damage. Um, and yeah, I think the KO loss of that brutal KO loss and the beating is a much worse than Fiziev. Fiziev has had like over a year and a half to prepare for this. He's been doing Muay Thai fights his whole life. He's also a trainer, so I don't think he's gonna be rusty. Guys, I think this is a passing a torch with like the violent guy at 155. I think Fiziev's just gonna straight up beat him and take his spot here. Gaethje, he's 36 now. Father Time's undefeated, and
He's been in a lot of wars, man.
damn near every fight is a war. I think Fiziev is hungry also to get a win. It's been so long since he's had a win. I'm taking Fiziev here by decision, but like he beats Gaethje's ass. What are you guys' official predictions?
Yeah, I said 29-28 Fiziev.
I would say the Z. Yeah, probably the same deal.
So guys, we all gave our predictions on the co-main. Anything you guys want to touch on this fight before we move on? What does the winner get out of this?
Uh, Zeev. I'm hearing maybe title shots for a win here. I don't know why Gaethje should be getting a title shot with a win, but I think it would be. It's way more important for Fiziev, I think. But he has more time, so I don't know. I think Fiziev could get a title shot.
I honestly think that depending on what happens with Islam and Ilya and maybe potentially JDM, um, the winner of this fight could easily just slide into the next title shot, man. Islam is starved for new contenders. new fights, man, that we haven't seen before. And I mean, it just so happens that, even though right or wrong, like he's beat Charles Oliveira convincingly. Charles Oliveira was scheduled for that rematch, but he kind of lost that opportunity, and the people weren't overly clamoring for it. So, and then Arman lost his opportunity. So it's like, man, the UFC gonna punish him. So at that point, fuck it. Like, why can't the winner of this get the next title shot? Like, and who would object?
So you're saying if Islam moved up and vacated, or are you saying if Islam just stayed?
No,
He's
no,
in,
no. I don't think he's vacating shit. I just
Oh,
think that
okay.
he's gonna. I'm just saying, like they might have to wait or fight one more fight if he's gonna be going from the division for a while.
Okay.
Maybe even an interim title type shit, but I don't know why that would even be necessary. I think Islam will come back and defend it with no problem.
It looks like Ilya's getting the next shot at 150 at Islam. That's what it's looking like.
That's what I'm saying. So like if like depending on what goes on with that, then like the winner of this fighter might have to fight like a Oliveira or something or a Arman in a title eliminator. You know what I mean? But I'm saying like depending on how the timing works out, like if none of those other things happen, like then why wouldn't this person get the next shot? You know what I mean? If they make Ilya just get back in line for some reason, if like what if Islam, because he has said this publicly, what if he just goes like, yeah, I want him to fight someone at 55 first? Okay, cool. UFC's like, damn, I can't argue with you, Islam. I deserve to fight a bigger person. Fuck it. Okay, well, can you take out Faziev in the meantime? Sure, no problem. He has no grappling. You feel me? You know what I mean? Like, boom. Like, I could just see, like, or Gaethje have no grappling. You get what I'm saying? I can see him just being like, yeah, in the meantime, between these, like, bigger fights, I'll smack one of these guys. You know what I mean?
no, I agree. I just don't want to see Gaethje in there against a wrestler or grappler for the third time and just get subbed in the first.
Yeah, I agree. I do now. I would rather see Oliveira. I'd rather see Armin again. I do not want to see Justin Gaethje, respectfully.
I do. I would not mind Arman having that feather in his cap, though, to be honest.
I feel like he should just get it. I mean,
I
there's just
agree with
no
you.
one else there. I mean, except Oliveira, who should get it now if they're not going to do Armin based on the beating he put on Chandler.
Also, just on that note, they clearly, I feel like the UFC clearly wants Charles Oliveira in another title shot. Like, I feel like they just always tease the Islam fight. Just do it, bro. If Ilya's gonna fight someone else, just do Charles versus Islam too. It's a
He has
great
a
fight.
big
I
fan
just think, I
support.
just think that like I just think that like the problem is Islam wants to fight new challenges. He's been like training for rematches and fucking all this shit for most of his career. Where it's like even Arman would have been, even though it's a different phase of their careers, like it's still a rematch. Like you know what I mean? It's just kind of like let him actually build his resume a bit. Like that's what he wants to do. And I don't think that he has a problem smacking Charles down like later at a later time, but it's like you have to let him get a couple new fresh faces to like stay invigorated, man. You know what I mean? Like when you're that dominant, it takes you like you need something new to like pursue, Let me train a different way for a different kind of challenge, like stimulate his growth, like you know what I mean?
I,
Rather than training to beat these same guys he's beat already.
Okay,
oh, go ahead, Clark.
go ahead. No, you
Uh,
can go.
I was gonna say I get your arm, Xavier, and I hear that a lot, but I'm honestly on the opposite side of the fence here. I don't think beating a guy twice is bad for your resume or legacy at all. I'm not. I know you're not saying it's bad, but like in my opinion, a second win over a guy like Armin or Charles Oliveira is worth way more than a win over Fiziev or Gaethje, even if it's your first time fighting him. That's just my opinion. Like seeing a guy beating a guy like Oliveira twice, that's huge.
That was exactly that's not exactly what I was gonna say, but I was gonna say Oliveira, he is arguably the third best lightweight ever behind Habib and Islam. I'd say he's the third best lightweight ever. So I don't know, man. I'm down for them to just run it back. He's my boy as well, so give him a shot, man. He was supposed to fight Islam. It was unfortunate a horse or whatever kicked
He
him in the
did lose
face.
to Armin though. He did lose to Armin though, even though it was a close
I
fight. But
feel
like,
that.
I mean, he does need to prove something else, I think.
I mean, okay, then
Smackdown at Ilya, and then we can talk.
no, I've been wanting the smoke. Come here, we'll sub them up. Come here. I've wanted the smoke, but
We will see about that, man. We will see about that. That's a bad matchup, I feel like,
they
for
don't
Turner.
seem interested in that matchup.
They're not going to do that fight.
They don't seem interested in it,
Why?
but
Because why kill a contender? Like, you know what I mean?
They're going to do Max and Oliveira. I just feel it.
and I'd be fine with that.
I think we
We'll
all would
be
be.
Max. We'll be Max as well.
All right, All right. Let's move on though, guys, to the feature fight of the night. We got Bahamondes versus Turner. I'm super torn on this fight. I'm slightly leaning Bahamondes, but maybe one of you guys could tilt the scale. Who do you guys got on this one and why?
Oh my gosh, I wish that I didn't have to really question this. On paper, I want to favor Turner, but it's just the fact that he keeps letting me down time and time again, letting himself down, to be honest, and like kind of like crumbling in critical moments, even in fights where he looks good. I mean, the Hooker loss was kind of like inexcusable, I feel like. And I mean, Bahamondes is scrappy. So it's like even he can, I know he can weather like, some adversity and still, be there mentally. And Ken Turner, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna say tentatively I'm kind of feeling Turner by decision, but I can see him winning early and then struggling late. Like once, he starts to gas out or, have a little bit of like less grit or something. Whatever happens to him mentally,
Yeah,
like
sounds like
later.
a Jalen Turner fight to me, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like some early success. I'm just hoping that like he doesn't get finished and like maybe he can do enough in the early 2 rounds to like steal it. I can see it being like a splitty type shit, really, even just because I could see him just like even losing the second half of round two. And it's just about how much he can do between like in the first 1.5 rounds,
He
That's how
looks
I
like a
feel.
god at first, and then yeah,
That's what I'm saying. And then he falls apart. It's absolutely baffling to me. But I'm gonna take him one last time. If he loses this fight, I will never take him again. But he will settle into that. Like, I mean, I'll take him against like a can, but like never against like a quality fighter. But I still think that like I don't know, the traits are there for him to beat a Bahamundes to me.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think they're basically the same kind of fighter. I think they match up pretty similarly. I think their height, reach, everything. I just I think Turner has the experience at the higher level. He's done well in parts at the higher level. Should have finished Moicano instead of walking off, and that would have been a huge win. Um, so I think he can. I think he has the power edge for sure in this fight, and I think he has the slight speed edge. Um, I think that could be a huge determining factor in this fight. The speed, just being the same length. I think both are gonna have their moments. I think this will be a pretty close fight. But I'd slightly lean Turner. Just I think he's fought better guys. I think Bob Munez is all right. He's definitely crisp. Definitely has nice kicks. Um, but I don't know. Just I think the speed of Turner, I think gets him the win here. I think the slight speed. I think he'll have the bigger moments. As long as he just doesn't, look, if he has no grit out there, like I've seen the last few fights, then he's gonna lose this fight. But as long as he uses his distance control well, I think he's the faster guy. But he does gas out sometimes, so gotta monitor that. I think he should win, but Bahamondes is improving, so one of those toss ups I could see going either way. But I'd lean Turner very slightly.
Like and very slightly, and it's only like Turner's own fault that it's very slightly for me.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. To your guys' point, he's really only lost to the like really good competition. So I'm with you guys. You guys have persuaded me. Final straw though for Jalen Turner for the Tarantula. Let's move on.
He's on fraud watch for
Fraud
sure.
watch. Who's on our hit list? We had some other people we just hate. I forgot who, but
Hmm. Oh,
let's go women's strawweight. We got Lemos versus Luciendo. This is actually a pretty good fight. Luciendo a slight one minus 150 favorite. How do you guys see this one going?
mm.
I think this one's gonna be close, to be honest with you. I have to think about it for a second.
Uh, I I feel like this will be a very close fight as well. I think Lucindo is very slick, especially, I mean, she's like 22 or something, so she's very young in her career, but already into the top 10. But this is a pretty big step up, I would say, for her in competition. Um, but I do think she has the tools to beat Lemos because we've seen in Lemos' last few fights, her takedown defense is not great, and she has been controlled down there in multiple fights. So I feel like the question for me is like, as long as Lucindo, I think, doesn't take one of those big power shots from Lemos, I think she's just the quicker fighter. I think she could get this to the ground and win. So I'd lean her, and I think her striking is pretty decent as well. But I think Lemos has the edge there. I think she also has the power edge, Lemos, in this fight. But I would slightly lean Lucindo. I've been very impressed. The Marina Rodriguez fight, though, was pretty close, I would say. And she has really good takedown. Well, at
Wasn't
least
that a splitty?
previous fights.
Wasn't
What?
that a splitty her last fight with Rodriguez?
Mm-hmm.
I was a splitty, right? Like I
It
thought
was
that like,
pretty.
that fight was really close, man. Like I bet on her to win, so I felt like I was a little biased, but like that did make me like that is what's kind of like making me like I don't know, like I do expect that because of her age, she's gonna like improve a lot fight to fight. That's what's kind of making me more so want to lean her, just because I think that like even from like a struggle like that, going through a struggle like that, will like tap a younger fighter into like the next level that they need to achieve or like the improvements that they need to personally make. Whereas I feel like Lemos is definitely on like the downswing of her career more so in terms of like I feel like the best is kind of more so behind her. But that best might be able to just be able to be a savvy vet in women's MMA where like there's not like too many power shots that are gonna change the outcome of a fight. Like if she's just out techniqued by Lemos, like in her like experience, like it might just get away from Lucindo and she might just fall too far behind on the cards. I can't help but feel a feeling of like this might just be like a little bit of a vet humbling experience for a young fighter type of a deal. But I think I'm gonna pick the side of Luciendo just because that youth and growth like potential, you know.
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. I've been impressed what I've seen from her so far, and she's just super young. She seems like the future. But let's move on, guys. We got King Green versus Marcio Rufi.
It's a
Marcio
fantastic
Rufi. This is a banger.
anger,
Uh,
bro.
King Green coming off that fight against Patty, just career suicide, jumped into a guillotine, shot on Patty. We don't know what that was about, but Rufi coming off, not a disappointing performance, but like it was disappointing for me because I had him by finish, but still, yeah, everyone's super high on Rufi. This guy's 2-0 in the UFC. A lot of people call him like the Brazilian Conor McGregor.
People
What are you
call
guys'
it the match of
expectations
the
for this
fighting
one?
nerds, man. I mean, like I feel like this guy you could pick between him and Bohio, but like these guys are like the ones like really who really started this trend of like putting the fighting nerds on, man. I mean, putting them on the map, like really showing like that this is a gym that has fighters that are like levels above other guys, man. Um, I think Rufi's striking is really crispy. I do understand like the Conor McGregor comparisons. I mean, I've been really impressed with him so far. King Green is like, a good test. I mean, if he comes in there that's like, he's almost getting to that age where we don't know what's gonna show up in the cage every time. Is this gonna be the time that, he's different? Um, and that's but a testament to him. Even that last fight, he just got choked out. He didn't take too much damage. So, and I mean, outside of like the Turner fight, he doesn't typically get like starched very often. So, I mean, I think that he should be able to. I could see him getting starched in this fight, to be honest. I'm gonna probably predict it happens eventually, but I think that he can give Rufia an interesting, round and a half before it happens. So I'm gonna predict like late second round TKO for Rufy. But I mean, I think it's gonna be like a banger back and forth a little bit in like up until that KO happens.
We got some crafty strikers here.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I think this will be a banger fight. I think it'll be back and forth for a lot of the first half of the fight. But I do think Rufi has a lot of uh just a lot more power than Bobby Green at this point in their careers. I think he'll be the quicker guy as well. And Bobby Green's chin is starting to wilt a little, I would say. And I feel like Rufy will eventually find the shots, but I think Bobby Green will get his own in there. He's going to be using the boxing very well, just kind of doing his open stance thing, head movement. He'll get in there for sure, but I just think Rufy's just been too crisp. He's been too clean with it. He's very creative on the feet with his kicks. I think he wins this fight either decision or KO. I can see a late KO. Does kind of have a gas out problem a little bit, so he's just gotta make sure he doesn't go too crazy. Big theme for a lot of these guys, just don't go too crazy, and I think he should win.
It's that same Conor McGregor quick twitch muscle fibers, you know what I mean? Like have heavy power, but like you can't sustain that like you can't throw like that hard consistently without like, it kind of adding up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. No, I'm with you guys. Rufi's the future of the division. I'd love to see him in bigger matchups in the future once he gets past Green. Super exciting matchups.
Who would you give him next if he gets past Green? Like let's just say, like who would you match him up with next?
Mm, I mean, I'd say give him a ranked guy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the rankings. Like who would you start him off with? Like
Mm,
Turner's kind of crazy. That'd be a crazy fight.
Roofy BSD, two kind of gas out merchants.
I just feel
yeah,
like BSD's been been so bad lately. I don't.
yeah.
That's
The
what I'm saying.
downswing on
He's got
PSD
to
is
shit or get off
great.
the pot, man. He's got to shit or get off the pot. Maybe Grant
Yeah, that's
Dawson.
true.
What's Grant Dawson doing?
I don't think he has a fight.
Yeah, Grant Dawson would be good.
Yeah, feed him roofie.
And
I
he
mean,
might,
I'm saying feed roofie to him. No, 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 feed him roofie. Feed him roofie. Yeah, yeah.
I think stylistically, like I think Turner would be his kind of matchup.
That'd be a
But I
fun
mean,
one.
like, just because, like, I think that like Turner's gonna probably struggle in this matchup here and not fight for a while, and I kind of see Roofy getting out of this one without at least getting injured. You know what I mean? And I mean, I think that these guys just. I think that there's some savages, man. The fighting nerds, there's some savages, man. They can get back in there in like a couple months
Yeah,
against like
I'm
a fuck.
liking Dawson.
Honestly, just feed
I
Dariush.
was gonna say Darius, no. Why do we both think the same thing?
Come
No.
on, guys. He's gonna make a comeback.
Bro, he is filling a number seven slot up right now.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just kind of like ready for this division to have the new blood take over a little bit. A lot of these guys are stale up here.
That's
Same.
true.
This is kind of the division where like the young guys never break through. It's been like the same old guard of the Poiriers and Gaethjes kind of like smacking these contenders down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
It kind of
finally kind of seeing it.
it's
Patty
like
would
Islam.
be
It's like Islam reigning supreme, and then like all these but the contenders like are like Max Hollowaying the fucking division. So it's like there's no new faces, man. Let Roofy be the one to fucking mow a couple of these guys down, man.
yeah, no, Patty will be up there. Petty,
Patty on his way as well. I would love Patty Islam. That would be great.
I think he beats Islam.
Hey man, I'm
Eventually,
not gonna lie to you. Fucking debut Ilya and lightweight versus Patty. Let them settle their beef. Fucking.
I would love that fight. That'd be great.
That'd be a fun one, but
That's a win-win for everyone involved. Winner gets an immediate title shot. Like, cause
Ilya would sleep him so bad. I'm
if
saying.
Patty subbed Ilya, like, damn, bro, you can't not give him an immediate title shot.
Hmm.
Well,
I don't
you,
know.
you guys are chatting. You guys are chatting.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think he'd chin him just because Patty's a little chinny, but
I think he would too, but I'm just saying
oh,
if he didn't, I'm just saying if he didn't, like, I'm just saying, like, that's an immediate like title shot.
yeah,
The
exactly.
the
Yeah.
build up will be so lit too.
Exactly.
The hate they have for each other.
Reignite that rivalry. Get those rivalry dollars. We need more of that in the modern day UFC.
That's true.
Like, like when's the last time? Like maybe Marab and O'Malley,
A
but
little
like
bit.
when's the last time that like we actually thought that like these people like hate each other, like some real animosity in one of these fights? You know, it's like
It's been a minute.
been a minute.
Like Colby Usman was a really good one.
Exactly, and it produced a banger, especially the first fight, a banger.
Right though. We gotta stop it. We don't have time.
One more should be good.
Yeah. All right though, guys. Let's move on to the prelims of this card. They're actually pretty good. We're gonna talk about a couple of fights here. We got UFC debut Rizvan Kuniev versus friend of the channel, number 5 heavyweight,
My
Curtis Razor
boy.
Blades
My boy Razor Blades, baby, ready to fucking put those elbows on a
on
fucking man.
on a blob. Now
On a fat, on a blob is crazy. On a fat fuck.
it looks like the UFC is setting Curtis Blades up for a nice little dub here, coming off that title fight loss to Aspinall. Do you guys know what do you guys know about Kuniev? I do not know much. I know he's built really weird. He's like a tank.
I do not know much about him either, outside of the fact that like I feel like his record's pretty decent, right? Isn't he like 9-2 or some shit?
Yeah,
I think so. It just says 2-0 right now because
I mean, either way, man. Either way, he's a fat fuck, man. And Curtis
either way.
Curtis Blade's gonna show him levels, man. Drag his ass across the canvas, man. Drop the vicious ground and pound on him and remind everyone why he's still a contender in this division, man. I believe in you, Curtis, every time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
yeah. I
Matter of
mean,
fact, I got a fucking high school fucking sweater on, man. Repping that shit. Deal us out, man. Let's get it.
yeah. I feel like as long as Blade just shows up to the fight, he should win. I mean, looking at his resume, he seems like a decent wrestler. His ground and pound finishes. Most of his fights have been finishes, so I guess that's what the hype about this guy is. Had to fight the contender series twice, got 2 wins. I just don't know much about him. He looks out of shape, honestly, and I think Blaze just beats him. I mean, man's ranked fifth. They picked this guy up. I don't know where from. Looks like PFL. Like he won the contender series and then went to like then he went Eagle FC, then PFL, each for one fight,
Man, a journeyman, man. He a journeyman. I swear.
and then went to the contender series again. So I mean he's looked good in his fights from what I've seen, but
Who is he fighting, man? Because I know Curtis Blades has been fighting Tom Aspinall twice. All right, beating him one time, mind you.
True.
Fluky it may be, but like he has trained for Aspinall twice. You know what I mean? Trained for 5 rounders with Aspinall twice. Like, you think he's not gonna scrape this guy around on the canvas a little bit? Come on, man.
This
The
guy's gonna
U
be gasping for air in the third round, dude.
the UFC, like if this guy gets his wins by club and sub, club and sub or like ground and pound, bro. Good luck, fucking. Like if Almeida couldn't really like, dominate blades on the ground, good luck with this fat fuck doing it. So yeah, I have full faith in my boy. I will be having heavy dineros on him to get this dub.
Yeah, I feel like as long as Blades, at least from what I'm seeing, as long as I think all of this dude's losses are by decision. As long as he gets out of that first round, I feel like this man kind of seems like a gas out merchant just looking at this man.
Just looking at
Just looking at him, bro.
I just think he's gonna gas in this fight, and Blades has a very good gas tank. He always has. So I think he just wins this fight, maybe 29-28, maybe just 30-27. It's just one of those where I don't know why they've set this man up for this position, but we're about to find out.
I
we're
literally
about
think
to find out.
I literally think this is a fucking get Blades back on track kind of a fight, to be honest.
It's just so random. Like I feel like they could have just fed him any. Like the bottom half of the heavyweight division is not good. Like they could have just fed him any one of these guys below. I think he wins. It's just kind of a weird matchup.
It's just another case of Blades fucking up a fat dude. Let's be real, guys.
Blades fucking up another fatty. That's crazy.
But yeah, let's go. Let's go. Razor Blades should be a nice, easy dub.
Razor Blades, second round TKO.
I'm with it. I'll say third round finish.
Yeah, I'll go third.
But any other fights you guys want to touch on the prelims? We got this Joshua Van fight versus was he fighting Ryu uh, Tus Tusuruya.
That is an interesting one. Ray's been very good in the UFC. He's more of a
Undefeated.
takedown guy.
Undefeated.
Yeah, he's undefeated. He's looked good, but I feel like against someone like Josh Van, who's just a grit merchant, a downloader,
Yes.
very good takedown defense and takedowns himself. He's just a very complete fighter. And how old is he? Like 23? Yeah, 23. I mean, he's just gonna get better every fight out there. Ray's pretty young too. I think he's like 22, something like that. He's gonna have the slight height and reach on Van, but so does like every other fighter. He is kind of his biggest downfall, I would say he's not a power guy. He is just small.
A
He
volume merchant.
volume, yeah, volume merchant. But his combos are so crisp when he
Once
goes.
he gets
So,
going, he's an avalanche, bro. He's an avalanche once he gets going.
and his grappling, I think, is like very good as well. Like his submissions are there. I think he's just all around a very complete fighter. And I think Ray is good, but I see him as more of a one-dimensional fighter, being the takedowns, and I think against someone like Van, that's just not enough. So I'd pick Van probably decision, maybe like around three TKO. Maybe he gets him out even earlier if it stays on the feet for a while. I think he beats Ray a little worse. I think if it stays on the feet the whole time, but I think they'll be in the clinch a decent amount. So I'd say Van decision.
If
I
I
think
knew he was gonna fight like from like how he fights from round two and round three, if I knew he was gonna start every fight like that, I think he might be able to get some finishes. But like you said, you've always said it, he's a downloader. He does like to take that first round off to like, make his reads or whatever, which like, I'd feel better if this was like a 5 rounder, or just all his fights were 5 rounders. He seems like he's poised for like to be a great 5 round fighter once he reaches that main event level. Um, starts headlining or co-headlining some fight night cards and shit, getting a couple 5 rounders, but he does tend to like give that first round away. And I will say like I could see him, getting a little out grappled in this round. I mean in round one just so he can start to throw down in round two and three and like winning a 29-28 decision.
Alrighty. And any hope for Alex Morono guys getting a dub here against Carlos Leal?
Didn't Leo almost beat like he almost beat a good fighter on like a week's
It was
notice.
we talked about him. The crazy looking dude.
Yeah, I'm forgetting who he fought.
Renat.
Oh yeah, not that
Fakardinov,
was a
Fakardinov,
robbery.
Fakardinov, Fakardinov.
I remember that being a robbery, I believe.
I think Fakardinov did lose that, but I did take Fakardinov, so I was happy.
Oh, I was very happy. But yeah, I mean, I think if
I literally think we called each other and were like, we just got away with one. It was in the big boy, I believe.
yeah, big got away. So yeah, I think Lel just beats Morono. He looked so bad his last time out.
Yeah, that was depressing.
Yeah, I think that Morono might be a little cooked at this point. Losing to Price too, like
That was
Nico,
brutal.
yeah, losing to Nico Price is like, all right, man. I don't think that I can take you after that. I can't believe in you after that, for
Oh,
real.
hell no.
He
But
also has a cardio
No,
problem.
no
he
disrespect to
does.
Nico Price either. Like he's scrappy as fuck, but like, come on, man. No.
All right, though, guys. Give me your prediction for fight of the night and performance bonus of the night.
Uh, I'm gonna go performance bonus. Whoever wins, Alex Ankalaev.
Okay.
I can go fight of the night. Gotta be Gaethje Faceve again, man.
Yeah.
I just can't see that not being a banger every time you put it on.
Yeah, I think fight of the night, Gaethje Vazeev, and I think performance of the night. I'll go a little different. I'll say Blades.
I feel that.
Yeah, I'll go fight of the night, Fazeev Gaethje, then performance tonight. I'm gonna go with Rufy.
Yeah, I like.
Rufi, if he smacks, I
I
think
think.
knockout of the night, Rufi.
Yeah, I would agree.
Oh yeah.
All right, though, guys. Thank you so much for sitting through this video with us and previewing this card with us. It should be a super fun one. Please check out the TikTok. We've been pumping out a lot of content on there. The support and interactions mean a lot to us. Help the channel. It really helps the channel grow. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.